We are inspired by you. Thank you for joining our Creative Mamas community. Please give us a 5-star rating, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, support Creative Mamas Unplugged on Patreon to get your name in the credits, receive extra content, and earn some fun prizes. With this, we can keep creating, uplifting, and growing this incredible community together. We love you so much. Applause.
Be happy, happy, happy.
Be happy, be happy, mommy.
Gonna keep your chill. Enjoy this time.
Smile, 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 my darling.
Honey, you better count your blessings.
Welcome to Creative Mamas Unplugged. We are your hosts. I'm Cherice Barton.
And I'm Shelly Hutchinson. Here at Creative Mamas Unplugged, we navigate the hell out of being creatives while raising humans with humor and heart.
We have honest conversations,
Hear wise words from fellow badass parents, and share hilarious stories from the front lines.
Listen, parenthood is one of the most creative, most difficult jobs in the world. You are not alone, and you deserve to be happy.
Welcome back, Creative Mama fans. Today we're here with Julie Nguyen. Part 2, a stunning soul, intuitive guide, movement artist, trauma-informed somatic practitioner, and a deeply present mom. In this conversation, Julie opens her heart, emphasizing her belief to encourage compassion and help understand the human experience. She also shares her psychic work to help access wisdom and how a major life-changing shift helped her discover the freedom behind what initially felt sad. Julie shares that the inward journey we experience is what creates the beautiful outward journey that we crave. Together, we explore presence over performance, the wisdom of the body, and the soft, unshakable power rising in women everywhere today.
With Braxton, I'm like, I want her to know who I am as a person, you know, and I tell her all the time, like, if she needs advice, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, actually, Braxton, like, I don't know the right answer to this, but we can talk about it. My mom, I lost my mom when I was 3. So I didn't grow up with a mother figure, obviously. But when I was trying to access, like, what was my mom really like? Everybody just said she was perfect. She was perfect. She was the loveliest human. She was the nicest human. And I was like, that helps me not at all. I want to know, like, what made her mad, what made her laugh, what she was scared about. And so I think also as mothers, sometimes we do want to take that leadership role and that adult role. And I think it is also very beautiful because there is, you know, an inherent generational stuff that we also continue to pass down. So the more that we actually say, like, I don't know, like, this is what scares me, or this is what this was like for me, or this is what makes me mad, or this is what I had to grow through. I think that also gives them a stronger foundation, because then they're not looking at their parents like, we have it all together, which half the time we don't, because we're in life, you know, and who we are in our 30s is going to be completely different than who we are in our 50s and 60s and 70s. And being able to vulnerably share that experience, I think, helps our kids not only understand us, who we are in the human experience, but also gives a deeper compassion for, like, just the total experience. And it might give them permission to also be in these, you know, be more flexible in these transitions in their own life.
It's funny. This is the exact conversation that Shelly and I had a couple of weeks ago, where I was telling her, especially right now, with not only my girls sort of entering this hormone phase, but also, you know, this new life, having mommy and daddy living in 2 separate homes, right? So my job, I find, is to stay very vulnerable with them. And that brings us very close together. And the more vulnerable I am with them, the more they feel safe to be the same with me. And then we all have a voice, and we all, you know, and I can also demonstrate to them that I have these, you know, I wouldn't want to say challenges. I hate that word. These, I'm human. Right. But they see me in real time working through it and finding solutions, you know, and then that in turn inspires them to do the same. I find it very, very important to share not just, the parts of me that I think that I should because I want to protect my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
think actually they're much happier and way better off and way more prepared for the world because mommy shows all of herself.
Mm-hmm.
You're honest with them.
Mm-hmm.
The honesty.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like my transition of like leaving my studio, I equated it very much to a divorce where it was sticky and my identity was lost and friends were lost and community was lost. And like there was that. But I don't think that's unique to me. I think everybody at some point in time is going to have a point in their lives where they're like, wait a minute, how did my life get here? And is this where I want it to be? And so I just want to also just take a moment just to reflect to you that, you're really in a really big transition in your life. And it's beautiful because it feels like you're coming back to you again in so many parts of yourself. So I think that sharing that with our kids too, also like, yeah, this journey it's full out. And, what a beautiful testament of you being able to be in your own beauty again and choice and a brighter mother probably for them too.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's true. It hasn't been an easy road. However, it's really, I'm at this place now where I feel my world really expanding and it's very exciting. And I feel very grateful. I feel grateful much of the time. And, I've never been so much in gratitude. And again, I'm not going to say that it's been easy. And there's times where, I'm human, right?
It's a shit show. That's the word. It's a
shit show,
spiritual shit show. That's what it is.
It's so true. But I do, and I'm not just saying this to, whatever. I am being 100% honest that, I have never, in all the years that I've lived here in California, every single day when I go outside, I say out loud, oh my God, it is so beautiful. I see green like I've never seen green before. I see flowers. I can smell the flowers. And I'm just like, and my girls, I'm sure they're sick of me because every time we're in the car, I'm like, oh my God, look at the green on the mountains. Oh my God, look at the blue sky. How lucky are we? You got like, I'm amazed at how much I'm seeing, And that's not just because of my life situation. It's also because of the work that I've been doing on myself, for sure. But I'm very grateful. I had a session with you, and that was really, really at a very important time because that was a crazy, crazy time for me. I was very grateful for that. You offered me up a lot. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Listeners, anyone, we're going to put all of your links to your website and everything in our show notes so that I would highly, highly suggest doing a session with Julie, you guys, because there's just something very, very magical. It's grounding and it's like you feel yourself opening and to so many possibilities. Like I just felt like, and you also, because you have this gift of being able to like, I don't know, be this mirror, you could see things in me that I knew, but I had forgotten. You know what I mean? So it was just like, yeah, right. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. And yes, I can. And yes. And it was just really important. I think I should do another session with you actually sometime. I'll hit you up.
Okay.
Yes, Shelly, you should do one too.
Well, I'll just make a note to the work because sometimes I use psychic just because it's a buzzword and people understand it. But really, what it is, it's just, I do feel like we come here with this soul blueprint. And then as we move through life, this other blueprint starts emerging. And it's just in front of us. So we kind of start believing that as truth. And the more that we can dive into our inner work, start questioning what, because I think individuals, like, we're the most fascinating and complex people, because we're not just like, we are made up of like, it's so many things that brought us here to this very moment. It is, and it's fascinating, it's cool, it's complex, it's layered, it's all the things. But at the core of it, and this entire journey is remembering who you are, and what you came to do, what you came to experience, what you came to learn, how you wanted to love and expand. And so it's like doing the inner work actually just gets you closer to this original blueprint, your soul essence blueprint, and farther away from this that has just been created from life and experiences. So that I just echo what you already know, and I give a stronger voice, because like at the beginning it was like the soul is more of a whisper and it's harder to listen to. So I just echo back to you what you already know and shine a brighter light on it so it can awaken within you. That's all I do. And I learn so much from everybody that I work with too.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I have two
Yes.
questions.
Yeah.
The first question, can you speak a little bit on, you had mentioned psychic school.
Mhm.
Was that, is that, because you had just said you kind of used the word psychic, but was that actually a psychic school where you were able to practice, what comes with that, even with the spiritual world, spirits who are on another plane or in another time? What can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So psychic school was a school in Boulder. And I would just go every week and they would teach you energy protection tools. And then after they taught you the energy protection tools, then it's tapping into your own gifts and then practicing how to, because it's everything. It's just like strengthening in the field. So you're learning how to connect into somebody else's energetic field to receive the information from there. The way I like to describe psychic work, though, because I still do psychics, like when I'm like like down and out and I want to know what's going to happen, I will reach out to a psychic because we all want the crystal ball. But it's important to remember that when we receive psychic information, that it's only like if I am facing north, this is the possible outcomes facing this direction.
Right.
And I actually am the one in charge. I am writing it and I am co-creating it. So at any point in time, I decide to go west instead, then a whole other field of possibilities and potentials open up. So it's nice to remember that when you do receive psychic information, they're just offering up a possibility, the highest possibility that you're facing right now in your field. And if you like it and it lights you up, then that could be used as like, I like that. Let me get curious about that more. And if you don't like it, change directions, So it's all, I think everything that we're receiving is just information so that we can strengthen our own ability to authentically create what it is that we want to create. So I don't usually offer psychic, like the way I was taught, predictions, because I think it kind of can also take somebody out of their own power. So that's why I do more channeling work. Yeah. So I think psychic information is more this way and channeling is more this way.
So psychic is more right in front and channeling it from like superior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people can get, because there's ego and spirit and everything. And we are, we have our brain always. So I think there's a caution too of becoming a psychic, that you can become like hierarchy in somebody's life, because my psychic said, or they told me. And so I think the real magic, and this is why I like the somatic work, is when you can access your own wisdom and your own feeling and your own information, then it's real. It's not this information that's out here in the field. It's something that you can connect with. It's real for you. And then that's the starting point.
I love that. I mean, I feel like, it's not this sort of like like this person is telling me what to do, and I'm going to keep going back to this person to get them to tell me what to do. But how do they kind of, what you were saying before, like awaken the instinct that you already have, or awaken the sort of like path that you're already on. I mean, I've been to many psychics, but right before I was struggling with infertility, and I went to to a psychic I had seen several times, and she really blew me away with some stuff that she was saying and doing. And I really, believed it, and saying things that like no one else would know, like calling my spirit guide by name over my shoulder. It happened to me, my grandfather. Like, how would you know that? Right. Stuff like that, where I was like, okay, I'm on board. I'll be back next week. So then I came to her and I said, we've tried everything, and I just feel like I don't know where else to go at this point, except, I think adoption, and she said to me, your chakra is really yellow, your yellow chakra. It's bright yellow, which has to do with fertility and children. And I think that's the color she said. And she said, I really think that, you have the heart for adoption. And in that moment, I already knew those things, but to have her sort of just kind of thumbs up me on that, I walked away and was like to my husband, okay, let's get going. Let's get going on the adoption. Let's go. Like, I'm ready. And so we were like moving in that direction. And then that month I got pregnant. And like, I just, I guess because she had helped me listen to what I already knew about myself, but in doing that, she was a partner with me in helping me let go of something I was holding on to. And I didn't need to, because what was going to be was what was going to be, And then I had this incredible child who I love more than anything in the whole world. So it was such a good experience for me. But I think, to your point, I was able to really go back to my own instinct. I just needed a little help. I needed an arm around me, a little bit, a hug to say, like, this is going to be okay, regardless, and it was a gentle encouragement.
Yeah. Well, I do it for myself too. I'm like, God, I have all this information for other people, and I can feel it in my body when I'm like the love and the joy. And I'm like, I wish I could do that for myself, or I wish I had me in my life. So I do.
You go to someone else?
Yeah, I have a solid group of friends who do the same type of work that I do. And so anytime I'm like, this is what's happening, or this is what I'm feeling, or can you just do a quick little tap in? And they'll tap in. I'm like, okay, that's what I thought, but I just needed clarification, But I also think it's this. Like, we are not meant to be doing this life alone. We need each other, and we need each other to strengthen our own container, to strengthen our energy, to strengthen, the vessel of love and wisdom, and knowing like we need each other. So I'm okay with leaning on my friends for, hey, I'm needing a little support today. And I also think that's part of the divine feminine too, of being able to ask for the support when you need it in really safe places.
Yeah. The soft power. I keep going back to you saying that, the soft power of the feminine divine energy. Soft power. Get some soft power up in here, America. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And this women group that I'm doing, well, it was a manifestation group, and it was interesting because, my coaching side was like, all right, we're going to identify what's not working in our lives, what is working. We're going to start, making goals around what we want to manifest and whatever. But I'm channeling at the same time. And it was like, no, we're not doing any of that. And I was like, oh, I have all these worksheets. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. We're starting with joy. And I was like, okay, all right, we are starting with joy. And day one, first class was you make your joy list, track in your notes, joy, what sparks joy all day, every day, and then go back and think about what really is joyful to me, what brings me joy. And I want you to get really, really simple, like, seeing a smile when you're holding the door for somebody, joy, seeing like the grass coming up in spring, joy, harnessing like my daughter's smile and her giggle, joy, like making your joy list. And that's what we're doing all week. And I think it may have been disappointing for some, because they were like, they're like, we're manifesting some shit. And it was like, we're not doing that. We are starting with joy. And I don't know why I started to share that tangent, but anyway,
Well,
it's
I think, go ahead, Cher.
No. You go ahead, Shelly.
I was just going to say that this whole, I remember,
allowance.
first hearing about gratitude lists. It brings you back to, right? Is it part of that whole initiative to kind of get you out of like a place that's low, is to find your joy list or find your gratitude list? Like, when you're not feeling great, make a gratitude list, is it something like that?
Yeah, I remember because you said the power part. It is that, but it's your ability to amplify your own energetic field and attune it to love, joy, abundance. And so you become a heightened frequency when you're in that. So when we're in our gratitude or in our love or in our joy and in our fun, we feel brighter. It's just like when I met my husband, people were like, "You look different." I was like, "I'm happy." They're like, "We can tell." So like happiness and love and like all of these things that are really beautiful, it does show up on your, on how you look and how you feel, and you feel lighter. But the thing was, and I'll stand up, it was like when life is constantly emerging like this, and we like to think that life is happening this way to us. And so that soft power, it's a soft awakening into, and it's a soft allowance of, and it's one thing at a time. So this is now how the divine feminine energy it's arising in each of us, so it can be more like this versus like and pulling things into our field and making things happen. It's this soft power. It's this gentle power. It's this loving power, and it's arising in us and through us. So every day for the creative mamas, you're birthing love every moment of the day.
Well, ain't that the truth in the form of butter and jellies? I mean,
and that's what it is for now, until it's not, and then it gets a little shitty.
So
I already
Yeah, it's just this. And that I think that was the, because first it was like, we're going to do joy. And I was like, okay, great. And then we're going to do self-love. And then it was, we're going to surrender. And for me, in the surrender part, I was like, okay, I'm going to surrender. So it was like simple things like, I'm going to surrender into like the softness of my bed. I'm going to surrender into the sounds of the birds that I hear outside. And then it was like, ooh, what's that? Sadness. And I was like, no, it's anger. And I was like, ooh, I am angry. I have a lot of anger inside of me. All right, I'm just going to hold that. Surrender. I'm going to surrender to the anger. What's underneath that? Sadness. I was like, shit, I am sad. And then I spent the whole next 2 days crying. Like I am just sad and I am crying. And then on the third day, it was, and all of this, if I surrender from the anger, then surrender into the sadness, and then I surrender, it's freedom. So what does freedom now look like in my life? The freedom to create my days, the freedom to be with my daughter, the freedom to create new programs. And so again, it's this inward journey that really makes a beautiful outward journey.
Did you say that when you were creating by using your intuition, that you were finding freedom?
Mm-hmm. But there's many artists that I work with, choreographers, where they would say, it's not me. It's just something's flowing through me. And so I think as creatives, we do access this flow of information, this flow of authenticity, this flow of truth, really. So creativity actually is so important. And everybody, whether you think you're a creative person or not, you are a creator because you are co-creating your life every single day. We just aren't always taught how to, or we don't believe that we are. But literally, our life is a manifestation of our beliefs, of our thoughts, of our actions, all of it. I'm working with an actress right now, and she's about to go do some, things in LA. Because the guides always speak to me too in visions and like metaphors, but they were showing like Care Bears. Do you remember the Care Bears? And they had their thing, and then they would be like, Care Bears unite, and it would all shoot up into the sky. And so they were saying that actually there's a huge rise in the softness of power of people actually finding, women specifically, finding the power of their voice. So really allowing the energy to move up, to find the freedom and the power of your voice, because creativity and how we share our creative vision, voice, and love in the world is how we are shifting through this shit show that is happening on the planet now. It is actually shifting through authentic, loving creativity. And we're going to see a lot of it coming back down to grassroots level, like indie films, indie music, that kind of stuff where everything's coming down and then we're lifting up and we're creating new systems and a new path forward. So actually anything that we want to create that is authentic to us and real to us and feels important to us, it is a huge green light to do it. And to do it within community, that we can no longer think that we can just do these things by ourselves, but that we're creating within community. And that's where the real magic and power is.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Right.
Finding your voice.
Well, we were just talking about that. Cher just talked about this whole situation with her daughter to remind her to use her voice and how effective it was. And I feel a little bit more confident in using my voice as the years go on. If you have a mom like Cherice here who can talk to her daughter that way, we're in good shape.
Yeah. Was it scary for you or vulnerable for you to be able to have open conversations with your daughter out of curiosity?
No, not at all. I think that, again, it has to do with the, the work that I've put in the past couple of years and really, really, finding myself. And, you were talking about, I see it as layers. Like when you were saying, I love it that you said surrender, because I think about that often too. It's been really transformative to me to just kind of surrender and let go. Meditation definitely helps, but there might be one layer that is, like you said, it could be fear. And then the next level is anger. And then the next level is sadness, right? Mm-hmm. So all of that work helps us to kind of find ourselves. What I found through the process of doing all of that is my voice. So with her, I could see she was really, really upset about something. And so I just said to her, I said, sweetheart, you need to use your voice. You need to be honest. You need to speak your truth, but not from a place of, anger or frustration, or you don't use your voice in a negative way. Never use your voice in a negative way, but just speak from a truthful place. And she said, but I don't want to hurt his feelings. And I said, sweetheart, if you're doing it in a loving way, you're using your voice, it's only going to open room for conversation. It's exactly what happened is the result ended up being absolutely wonderful. And I love it that you talk about this like soft power. We do have that. And if I can inspire the girls, thank you for that, to use their voice in a way that makes change and makes the world a better place. It took me a very long time to use my voice. The more truthful my voice is, the more beauty comes out of it. I am far from being any kind of saint. However, I do have those moments where it feels really, really important. And I do like passing that to the girls.
With Braxton, I'm very honest with her because I realize who I am stems from my home, my mom and dad, my family life. That is how I came to think and react and be in this world. I always tell her, I don't want you to be like me, Braxton. I know where my belief systems come from. Your experience is not like mine at all. So you should be forming your own belief systems. So your job is to challenge me. On Sunday, we were painting her room and she said something. I was like, okay, watch it. Like, don't talk to me like that. And she said, well, you said to challenge me, but I don't know how to challenge you and not be disrespectful. And I was like, good awareness, good conversation. I was like, this is how a challenge looks. I am very aware of when I am putting my stuff on her, when my wants on her, what I want her to be on her. And it takes a lot of deep breaths and self-awareness and trust that she gets to be in life the way she wants. And I have to be her support system. And when I am noticing that I am putting my stuff on her, I tell her, Now you need to challenge me on that. I see what I'm doing in real time. Like I see myself doing it right now. Tell me no.
Yeah, no, this is huge. We've been saying this for a long time, like how learning how to argue is important. I mean, my husband is a lawyer, so this is what he does, it's how he thinks. So, and my younger one, they're a lot alike. So I love when they go at it. I'm just like, oh, this is awesome. Like, it's just like, hey, he's your kid, honey. Like, we teach them how to argue because you have to argue respectfully. It's important to learn how to argue. I was never an arguer. I was always a like, yes, please. And whatever you say, I'll be the good girl, right? Like, but I have two boys who are, they have opinions and I want them to be able to know how to argue respectfully. I think that it's great that you're telling her that, like how to challenge. Like, I think that's part of using your soft power, right? Is like, how do you argue respectfully? How do you teach kids? How do you teach young teens how to argue their point? It's like debate club, be respectful and have an open mind. And it's not easy to teach because it's really one of those, like, if you're in the moment, you can teach it, you learn it in the moment, I think.
And it teaches a strong attachment to your family or to those that are in support of you unconditionally. We can argue or we can have strong, challenging conversations. And that does not at all reflect my love for you because my love is unconditional.
Yes.
That's where it's the difference between here and here.
Head and heart.
Head and heart. Yeah. But like back here is the fear part of the brain.
Behind the head.
So anytime we are really feeling unsafe or unsure, we really need to get grounded on a decision. If you put one hand on the back and one hand on the heart and just simply sense which one feels bigger and which one holds a soft, encouraging power, the heart space.
And do we try, and in doing this practice, are you trying to get the heart to be more encouraging and louder? Are you trying to influence?
Tends to be more of the safety instinct. So you know how like when you're about to do something big, there's a part of you that comes in and it's like, are you sure? Are you sure that's what you want to do? So actually it's not to get one louder and one quiet because both are in service. It's how can they actually connect and work together?
Okay. So connect. Right. I love that.
It's interesting that you said it's here in the back of the head. That is where I feel most of my pain and tension.
That is also like an awakening symptom. This back here is called the mouth of God, and it's a chakra point. This is actually where we energetically pull in things. So when we are really sensitive and moving here, it's more than likely you're awakening to more parts of yourself, to your divinity, able to access more downloads for yourself and or picking up stuff from other people too. I do Palo Santo. I'll put essential oils behind, and it's just another protection tool. Or I'll just imagine like light, gold light, and I just kind of place it here to seal it up.
So you rub your hands together, get some heat. Imagine a gold light and you place it. So just to be for listeners, it's the very top of the neck or the lower part of the skull.
Yeah. And you just seal that up because it can get leaking our energy out too. So it tends to come out right here.
I am in a place in my life where everything is new.
Like if you could do anything and expand in any way, what would you want to create next?
In my life, or do you mean as an actual like creation?
Well, that's both, but whatever.
Oh my goodness. What would I create? Well, I actually am going to New York to create a new work. And the whole work is inspired by, sort of my journey as of late. It's called Being Human, reflecting on moving through those layers in order to, I call it let go, but I love it that you said find freedom. It's just going to be so healing in so many ways. So when it comes to creating actual art, that's what I'm going to do. When it comes to my life, I just want to create joy, abundance of love, of creativity, of financial security, of course, and more love. I'm already so grateful. All of these amazing women that we have been bringing onto this podcast, all of my female friends, like it's unbelievable the amount of support and freedom I feel through having that gift of community, right? For one, my girls, I'm so close to them right now. I feel so grateful, and that brings me so much joy. So I think I just want to attract more and more and more of that. And I've said to my daughter several times how amazing women are, and boy, do I love men.
Things can be true. I love being a woman.
Yes, they can.
I think there's a lot. So in this, the awakening of the divine feminine energy is also feels, because it's an unlocking with a lot of clients that I have that are in their late 40s, early 50s. And I'm always embarrassed to talk about it, but it is like also the power of the divine sensuality and sexuality. So it actually feels like you're tapping into what this actually means to be in your power.
Yeah.
So it feels right on track. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Because it doesn't feel how when I was in my 20s and and I wanted to be sexy and because I wanted the eyes on me. It's not that at all. As women, when we get to a certain point, society has said, okay, you're done now, but oh no, we are just beginning.
Amen.
And
so a whole other podcast on women and sex in your 40s and 50s and 60s.
Yes, I think
you're going to come back for that, Julie.
Okay, great.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell. And you are not alone. Bye for now.